such a big deal when you did Private Benjamin that you were a producer. It was very unusual.
I didn't look ever at my career as climbing the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went through anxiety when they pulled me out of the chorus and put me into a show because I wanted to dance. I had preconceived ideas of what I was going to do and thrilled about the opportunity to be dancing in all kinds of shows. I'm not that person who has the kind of ambition and what is me to prove to anybody else. Mm-hmm. It was a practical decision to produce that movie because we didn't need Ray Stark. We didn't need any great big producer. We had an amazing script. You've got producers, on your movie, they're counting the money, line producers and so forth. Mm-hmm. There are no argument about the film. It was going to be great. We had a relationship, and I did with the head of the studio. And the end of the day is that it was practical. We didn't need to spend more money on the budget for a big producer that's going to take a piece of the movie. So me, this was a business decision. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a decision that I'm going to show him. It was really practical. So when this happened, and we produced the movie, and we had wonderful writers, and it was an amazing experience. But on the other side, the next thing I know, my agent or whatever, my PR, got me the cover of Newsweek. And on it said, "Dumb as a fox." And what that was like a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. Because suddenly, this person that was perceived one way is now suddenly producing. And that was a hail. That was like a very cool thing. But then directors, so forth, really felt like I wanted to do my own thing. I ran my own show. Everything had to be the way I wanted to be. And that's where we get into the glass ceiling, how the people treat you, how they look at you, until you make another hit. I only looked at that from a perspective of looking at life. It wasn't easy for girls to say, I can. And there's a lot of machinations and adjustments to make when you do have an idea. Because if you do have an idea, it's kind of like this. Instead, listen, I got an idea. Why don't we do this? No, it used to have to be, hey, you know what? I just had an idea. Different reading, different world, not that quite the same anymore. But back then, it was, even Herb Ross was another story who I knew, my mother knew as a little boy. I asked him to do Protocol, to direct it, and he went back to the studio and said, yeah, but does she have to run everything?
Hey, check it out. Peak Design makes travel gear that adapts to any trip. You know how I love travel gear. I travel a lot.
You do. You travel a lot.
And these guys, they make camera gear, bags, phone accessories, designed to help you create, commute, and explore.
Oh, it's nice.
It's incredible. And their gear is known for being meticulously engineered, ruggedly designed, responsibly made, and guaranteed for life. Guaranteed for life!
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's like a wedding vow.
Yeah. Oh.
It's incredible. They sent us this backpack. It looks really nice. And what do you have there, Sona?
I have it's like a pack. It's got shaving gel. It's got all these little compartments.
They've got packing cubes. Look, they've got packing cubes. It's like having a dresser drawer with you wherever you go. They have a wash pouch. It's nice. This backpack, it sits upright on a counter. It doesn't just flop. I hate a backpack that flops.
I do too. That sucks.
It's got a wide clamshell opening that gives you access to all your essentials at once. My essentials. I love saying that too. If anyone ever says, what's in your bag, sir? Essentials. And if you want to find out more, visit peakdesign.com/Conan for 20% off your first order. That's massive.
That is pretty good.
And then you can hit the road knowing you got Peak Design with you. And there's no better traveling companion. I just made up a little catchphrase for them.
So there's a perception about aggressive women that do things like this. I had no inclination. I had no focus on future. I never said, oh, good, I'm going to produce. The reason I started producing after that is because I realized that for this girl who landed from Mars was not going to be asked to do everything. Because it was a kind of a niche. It was kind of a specialized thing. I wasn't going to do, Sophie's Choice, okay? I knew that there was specific things that I would probably fit into. But I also had something to say about women, about who we are, about things that are women's stories that actually can teach, that can make people feel elated, that can support that. Whether it's, a football coach or, whatever protocol, showing the lies in Washington, which I wanted to do. And so I was able to create from my heart, not just to feel like I won. And that's who and where I am as a person.
You see it in politics all the time.
Yeah.
Today, it's still going on where if a male is in a certain role and they're doing it, that's one thing. And then if a woman holds this exact same office, people think she's bossy. She just seems like they put a different spin on it. There is still, I don't know if I want to say latent misogyny or maybe it's overt misogyny, but there's a thing where if you say, no, I'd like to actually have some of the decisions, it's, why does Goldie have to run in everything?
Exactly.
I'm hoping that's changing.
I think it does, but there's a definitive shift. But I have a theory. Now, obviously, I'm working with neuroscience and children in the classrooms and things we can talk about later. But I after understanding more about the brain, the male brain and the female brain are so different.
Mm-hmm.
The female brain can do 8 things at once. They get shit done. They decide they're going to do this, they do it. They're busy, they fix things, they're whatever. They're fixers, they literally are, basically these thought people who actually we bring in understanding about how to fix it. The male, I think, especially now, isn't doing as well as the women. Women are graduating college, they have jobs,
Yeah.
The boys are not doing as well. This is a very interesting shift right now. But I think basically there is a bias in terms of women. Because when a woman gets mad, it's scary. When a woman is feeling angry or ranting or off, that is not good because men don't like it. They hate it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's a mother thing because, mother's nurture, she's this, she's that, and the man's the strong guy and he's the one who goes to work. And there's all kinds of images going on. But down deep, I ask that question of how men actually feel emasculated with this, which is a bad feeling.
Yeah.
And that's where we can get a lot of the Ubering over, that kind of feeling when you're in a situation, is fragility.
It's funny you say that because I am
Fragile.
And that's all the time we have for today.
And emasculated. That was a long time ago. It was a farming accident. It's just funny you say that because I am not fearful of an angry man, but when a woman is upset, I freeze up. I'm terrified of a woman being upset. Not necessarily even angry, but right. It's fascinating to go back. And I think, of course, it has something to do with mom. Of course, it has something to do with, there's so much going on with us. Yeah. And if we could get in there and pull out the wiring a little bit and look at it, we would understand better. But I know with my wife, it helped so much when I was able to say to her, years ago when we were first married, when you get upset about something, it's terrifying for me. And she said, oh, I didn't know. And then we were able to figure that out. And then I started drinking. And and that really helped. It helped a lot.